In Australia today, there's 775,000 people who are officially defined as unemployed. There's a further 1.1 million people who are classified as being underemployed, which means they've got some work, but they want more work. So together we've got nearly 2 million people who are unemployed or underemployed, but we're told there's skills shortages. We're told employers can't find people to come and drive a truck, clean a hotel room, or serve a meal. How on earth could this be? I'm Richard Dennis, Chief Economist at the Australia Institute.
And I'm Matt Grudnoff, the Senior Economist.
Matt, what on earth is a skills shortage?
Well, that's a really good question. I think a skills shortage basically means that businesses wish they could find workers and continue to pay low rates of pay.
So a skills shortage means right now there's a shop out there, there's a hotel out there that can't find enough staff at the existing wage rate and they don't want to pay a higher wage.
That's exactly right. So there might be workers there, but I can't attract them because I'm not willing to put my wage rate up.
So the shortage they're talking about means that given the wages, given the conditions, given the location, given the kind of work, there's not someone out there that wants to do it.
Exactly right.
So what happens with a hotel, for example, if there's lots of people want to go and stay in a hotel on the weekend and there's not many hotel rooms? What does the hotel do?
Well, they put up their price, and Richard, you should have booked earlier. You shouldn't have waited until that last minute to try and go out on a long weekend.
So if there's lots of demand for hotel rooms that have a particular attribute, like they're somewhere nice that people want to go on a weekend, if there's lots of demand for a hotel room and there's not a lot of supply of the hotel rooms, the price goes up.
Price goes straight up.
What if there was lots of demand for iron ore and there wasn't a lot of iron ore?
Well, we'd have a mining boom, we'd have a resources boom, and we'd be happy because, we'd be selling all our iron ore for a high price.
And at Christmas time, when everyone realizes they need to buy prawns to celebrate the birth of Jesus, we all want to go on with tradition, at least for 20 years or so in Australia. I'm not sure if Jesus knew about that, but
maybe not.
Anyway, leaving that aside, so all these people want to buy prawns. All of a sudden, the prawns aren't in on the deal. What happens to the price of prawns?
Well, they go up as well.
Right. So in the market for hotels and the market for iron ore and the market for prawns, when there's more demand for something than there is supply, the price goes up. But in Australia, we've got all these unemployed people and we've got businesses saying, well, I've got demand for cleaners, I've got demand for truck drivers, I've got demand for waiters. How come the price of cleaners and truck drivers and waiters isn't going up?
That's a really good question.
Well, I thought so. You got a really good answer?
Well, I think it's because businesses don't want to pay higher wages. That's going to cut into their profits, Richard.
So whose fault is this? Didn't we make the labour market flexible? Didn't we deregulate the labour market so that these kind of problems are the employer's problem to solve?
And also, isn't the governor of the Reserve Bank out saying that we really need to get wages higher? That we really need to have wages with a 3 on the front?
And isn't the government predicting that wages will go up?
Every budget they predict that wages are going to explode.
So we're predicting that wages should go up. The Reserve Bank governor's saying it'd be good if they did, but none of the employers want to pay higher wages. So can you get wage growth if employers won't increase wages?
It seems very difficult, doesn't it? Maybe, but maybe the public sector will pay higher wages.
But the public sector seem to be saying we have to keep wages down.
Yeah, that is true. Like they've all got like a wages increase strike that we hear the government saying we can't increase wages.
So the public sector doesn't want to increase public sector wages, and the private sector doesn't want to increase private sector wages.
Minimum wage. The minimum wage case.
Maybe we could really strongly increase the minimum wage.
So does the government want the minimum wage to go up?
No, I don't think the employers do either. But we all want wage growth.
So where's the wage growth going to come from?
Well, I don't know. I was asking you that question. Somehow I think someone might actually have to pay higher wages. Now, this idea of a skills shortage, it's not really economics. In economics, if there was a skills shortage, then the market solution would be to increase wages. Now, there is a skills shortage that does lead to high wage growth. You might have heard that there's a shortage of skilled people with enough skill to run a big company and be a CEO of a big company. So this skill shortage when it comes to CEOs is often used to justify the fact that we pay these people $10 or $20 million a year.
I can't have you beating up on CEOs. They absolutely earn that wage. There's almost nobody who can do it. You've got to pay the big wages to attract the talent in.
So when you need to attract talent, you pay a higher price for it.
Absolutely, yep.
So if you can't attract the talent you need to clean or to serve or to drive, it's as if economic theory would suggest the solution would be to treat the cleaners the same way we treat the CEO and
increase their wages.
So why don't they do it?
Well, as I said, that they don't want to increase it because it'll eat into their profits.
So what's the government had to say about this?
Well, the government's basically said that they're hearing that businesses' pain, and Josh Frydenberg is offering them relief in the next budget.
Relief?
Yes, I don't know exactly what that means, whether they're going to magic new people into existence with skills or whether they're going to help pay the wages of businesses.
Right, so Matt, we've made this video to help people understand something simple, but
Yep.
I'm afraid we might have confused them.
I think we might have.
Because let me be clear, if there was a skills shortage, if there was more demand for cleaners than there were cleaners, Economics 101 says pay the cleaners more. If there's more demand for truck drivers or for nurses or for anything than there is the supply of labour, Economics 1 says pay the workers more. The Reserve Bank says, the Treasury says, everyone says paying workers more would be good for the economy. But every time it comes time for someone to increase wages, we seem to come up with some dodgy reason why we shouldn't. Now, I don't know what that reason is, but I'm pretty comfortable saying it's not economics. What do you reckon, Matt?
Well, traditionally when you've got a skills shortage, business could go out and train people. So, if mines don't have enough truck drivers, they could bring people in, train them, teach them how to drive trucks and solve the problem. They could pay higher wages and attract people who are, truck driving elsewhere to come into the mining industry and work for them.
So it's as if there's a whole bunch of simple solutions there.
Absolutely. Well, when you've got 800,000 unemployed people and 1.1 million people who want to work more wages, there are plenty of people out there clearly who want work. It's a matter of whether or not business are willing to pay enough to attract them to come in and work for them.
Well, let's wait and see how Josh Frydenberg designs the relief for employers rather than actually gets out there and reminds employers, hey, why don't you train some people or pay them a decent wage? Thanks for watching The Everyday Economist. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more episodes and watch the next episode here.